Erin McLaughlin is senior economist at the Conference Board and can answer some of those questions for us today. Erin, good morning. I have to ask you, when we see stocks going in one direction and the dollar going into another, is there reason for panic, or are you like, no, calm down, there's a reason for it?
Well, there is a reason for it. And actually, they only move in tandem about 40% of the time. So they are not necessarily super connected, but yes, the dollar has fallen for the first time at this pace in the first half of this year, about 11% compared to other major currencies, the most it has since the early 1970s. And there are a few reasons for that. Namely, it's the oncoming trade and tariff policies that we still have not realized the full brunt of. And so that concern about inflation is weakening the dollar. The other main reason is sort of the increase in our federal government debt, which is kind of boring and people don't like to talk about it too much, but it's definitely at sort of a precipice of where it's increasing faster potentially than our GDP, and that's concerning.
And Erin, we hear people talk about the national debt and all of that there, but before going to that, I do want to talk about the tariffs that you touched on. Investors seem to be shrugging off President Trump's new tariff threats, and jobless claims have been falling at a 7-week low, but some signs of potential caution as gold has risen 26% so far this year compared to the S&P's nearly 7% gain. So how should consumers navigate all of this when they're hearing all this different piece of information?
Well, consumers need to be aware that they are most likely going to pay more for the goods they are purchasing. Tariffs are a tax on those that are importing the goods. They are not a tax on foreign countries. So the tariffs need to be paid by the importers that import the goods into the U.S., and it is generally passed on to consumers. Now, there's been a lot of talk about tariffs, but for the most part, most of them right now are at about 10% because after the 90-day pause, which was just this past week, the administration has sort of kicked the can down the road again until August 1st. So the full brunt of what we heard was going to happen on Liberation Day has not yet happened. And Wall Street seems to think that maybe it won't happen. And so a lot of sort of the stocks going up and folks active in the market is still happening.
And Erin, you mentioned, I do want to touch on this, you mentioned the national debt and how that's climbing there. People hear this all the time. How concerned should average Americans be?
Average Americans should be concerned for a couple of reasons. One, a weakening dollar means that we have less spending power. And then we also will have less spending power due to rising prices with inflation. And so less spending power is definitely a concern for consumers. The other thing is, in the future, in the next 10 years, the big beautiful bill, for example, is supposed to add $3 trillion to our debt and deficit. And we cannot keep up with that given our current GDP. And if we're not adding people to our economy and we're not growing, and immigration is part of adding people, having more families is part of adding people to grow the economy, then we're going to have a slowing economy for decades potentially.
Erin, I've got like 30 seconds, but I have this question I have to ask you. President Trump has been pushing, as you know, Fed Chair Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. Do you think a rate cut is needed soon, and how much would a move affect housing prices and other big market things for consumers?
Well, as we know, it was said in your last segment as well, interest rates are about double for homes and cars what they were just a few years ago. The Fed has to keep an eye on inflation. They do not feel comfortable, and it would not be sort of standard operating procedure for them to lower interest rates right now if they do not understand what's going to happen as a result of these tariffs, and we don't know yet.
And we don't know, but Erin, you're like, don't panic yet. Just keep your eye on it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.